All right, Shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites come out here week in, a week out, prophesy the downfall, the daughter of Babylon, aka America. It's lucky. But first and foremost, I want to say call halayim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Harakach. Double honors to the apostles and elders of 7:13:19, where I learned this truth from, and who rule well. Salutations to the Bakiyar, the elect, the 144,000. That's 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. 12 tribes of Israel consist of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous of America. The 144,000 being the governing body within the 1/3. The rest of the 1/3 comprises of men, women, and children. Shalom to those Israelites scattered due to the diaspora and also the triangular trade. So our people will come looking like different ethnicities, having various complexions. So this is not a black thing. We're not the black Hebrew Israelites, we're just Hebrew Israelites. Shalom to those that die in this truth. It says the dead should be raised up first. Those that will be accompanying Yahweh Shah on his return, including our King Mashah, who is King David. And as always, it's an honor and privilege, honor and blessing to continue to do this work. The water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah for answering my prayers and permitting me to do such. Baba Kashah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah allowed us to be an edifying camp to at least one member of the elect. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so today's is going to be a continuation of yesterday. It's going to be day 2, just finishing it up. Whatever I go into next is just probably going to be various topics. Today's the 30th. Hold on. Prophetic insights. Research on Anchor. Bear with me, I'm trying to get to where I was. I believe I left off on speech. So basically prophetic mapping, how AI, miracles, right? Midwife, the mark, right? So you know a midwife is like a maid servant that helps her maid with her labor. So for AI to be the midwife to the mark, it's necessity for its operation, man. You know, almost like the brains of the system, you know, which this system is basically demons, man. A demon, just going to the word intelligence, it's a demon that encompasses both the left and the right hand side, according to it, depending how it's used. And you know, Esau, being the son of the wicked, or the sons of the wicked, he's going to use it for diabolical purposes, you know. Oh yeah, motherfuckers on the whatchamacallit. But anyway, I'll start at signs or sight. A panoptic inference. It starts at Proverbs 15:3. So I'm going to go to Proverbs chapter 15, verse 3. Bear with me. And I'm going to start at the top. This is Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath. Right. And that's true. Because if you give a friendly answer or a soft answer, instead of being agitated in anger or angry, you know, it could prevent confrontation. It may prevent, tragedy, right? It says, but grievous words stir up anger. Yeah, words can start wars, man. Words can end relationships. Words can be destructive, right? And St. James speaks about, the tongue, how it's unruly. It's an unruly member, right? Verse 2, it says, the tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright. So the wise are always going to apply wisdom and knowledge, to their doings, right? Operating with the cold cognition, using more so logic than emotion, which, the masses of these people, they were raised by women, and they have adopted those traits of a woman to think upon their emotions, be emotional while making their decisions. And that's going to lead to their destruction. It says, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Right. And when you could juxtapose the righteous and the unrighteous, even, on your day-to-day, and most notably, I'm referencing, these podcasts. You don't want to hear the mouth of foolishness, man. Because all it brings is entertainment. It's just entertainment for the masses. It's not bringing any edification, man. And the cultivation that it may bring is contrary to the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah, man. Because what do these podcasts talk about concerning, those that are operated by our people? A bunch of madness, a bunch of bullshit, man. Foolishness. Hip-hop. Hippity-hop. What whore is pregnant next? Or currently pregnant? And these women out here, they're unchaste, right? They have too much liberty. I ran across a profile. I think she was a Jake woman, but she looked like a white woman that hanged around a bunch of a nigger woman, right? And she already has 2 kids. I think she has 3, 23, 8, and 6, right? And she's on the dating site looking for another man while being 13 weeks pregnant, man. And of course, as she mentions on her profile, the father wasn't there or isn't there and doesn't want to be involved. So the conclusion, if you have discernment, she was just weekend pussy, man, which a lot of these women, they're nothing but weekend pussy because they base their decisions upon their emotions. And that's why they're single. That's why they're unwed. That's why they're adulterous. And that's what this society pushes, man. It pushes nothing but foolishness and wickedness, man. So you don't want to. I get tired of hearing these fucking niggas, man. I get tired of hearing the no jumper. I turn that shit off, man. You know, and really I only go to it when I got downtime. You know, even these other camps, man. These camps that don't have the full truth. I don't like watching their videos, man. My take on it is if they ain't got it by now, then they ain't never gonna get it, man. It's a reason. You know, it's not hard as people think to humble yourself and accept the truth, man. Unless, you know, the Heavenly Father is blinding you from it. Now, if he's blinding you from it, there's nothing nobody can do. You know, it's a waste of time listening to you. It's a waste of time watching your debates. It's foolishness. You know, the main objective is telling our people what to do in the times that are here. Not to watch you, you know, attempt to acquire fame and fortune, man, in a place that is about to be wiped off the face of the earth. That just shows you, that should tell you right there that the individuals that do such things are not in their right mind, man. It's just a gimmick, you know? And like I mentioned earlier, a motherfucker might say I sound monotone or whatever, but that should tell you I ain't up here with no gimmicks, man. The Most High didn't put me here with a voice that is charismatic and what's the word? I'll say attractive or attracting, you know? You put me here to be about the business, man. I'm not about gaining money or using this truth to get rich or to glorify myself or to consume the flatteries. I'm not here for none of that. All that is foolishness. And therefore, those that do such things, you know, I avoid, abhor, right? And all you individuals that follow these individuals, you're going to be destroyed right along with them, man. And there's nothing I could do about it. The Most High has to give the increase. Here's the point. Verse 3, it says, the eyes of Yahweh are in every place. So the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, as the scriptures state, are in every place. They behold everything, even to the molecular level. Even the unseen world, the different dimensions. You know, which I was watching this, he was under 10 years old. He was supposed to be a genius. He was a Jake kid. And he was talking about how he wanted to explore the realm of dimensions, which he's on the right track, because there is different dimensions, man. You know? Also showing how intelligent our people are, man. Leaps and bounds. And the only reason why we're in the position that we're in is because of the curses, man. Because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments, and the warning that's throughout the scriptures in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. And now, since, you know, the Most High is a man of his word, we're in this position that we're in, man. Where the children that are younger than us, the Edomites, they rule over us. You know? Which that's about to be changed. So on the left-hand side, Esau, he wants to see everything in every place. His eyes, he wants to construct eyes, a surveillance system that will see everything everywhere, man. Right? And part of that is him using this AI, man, which is crazy. There ain't no motherfucking It's weird how in this particular area there's a lot of flies and shit. And there's no trash, unless there's a trash can or shit somewhere in there. Must be Satan Beelzebub. Hey, but maybe the flies want to get the word too, man. Shit, maybe they trying to save themselves, man. When their little 23 hours of life, or however long a fly lifespan is, man. You never know, right? It says, beholding the evil and the good. Beholding the evil and the good. But on the left-hand side, that's the trajectory that Esau is on. He wants to behold the evil and the good. He wants the eyes of God, man. And that's why he's instituting his surveillance, man, his surveillance system, his AI. You know, to have those eyes to see everything, his pre-crime, his pre-thought crime, man. Right? And it's going to be a worldwide system. It's going to be similar to the movie The Minority Report, right? It says true omniscience versus Babylon's counterfeit eyes. Which I already went through some of this as I'm recollecting. I'll just start at the top. This is Psalms chapter 64 verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, hear my voice, O power, in my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. So what King David is singing about is to preserve his life from the enemy, right? Because we don't really know what our end is going to be. We just hope that our end is in a conclusion of righteousness, you know, that will conclude our walk, you know, instead of, you know, being a part of the wicked where we're going to be in shame, man. So, you know, we're hoping that we're preserved from these Edomites. We're preserved from his armies, his flood, which really is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. He controls Esau, man. So we pray that we're on Yahweh's good graces. And therefore, Yahweh sees us through the lens of Yahweh, man. So he won't impute judgment. That's why we come out here in our spectacle or a laughing stock, or, you know, hearing the left-hand side saying that we're wasting our time, or we need to do something with our lives. This is our life, man. And it's evident, it's quite evident through your adversity. What are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the world, or are you going to choose the truth, man? You know, men are known through actions. You know, they're tested. You know, their character is shown. Not just you saying that you're a man, or you saying that you're a man of the Lord. The Most High has to test you. And he wants to see if you're going to allow the left hand or the outside world cause you to disobey what he says, man. No matter where it's coming from. And one thing that he said was to come out here and feed his sheep. You know, do the work. Do the work of an evangelist. You know, keep his commandments. Walk in the light. You You know, so if you decide not to do those things because of what a man says, which that man could be a nigga. That same individual could fall out tomorrow, and you're basing your faith upon his words, man. Fuck that nigga, man. What about Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Because these men can't save you. Right? Now, we do speak, or Yahweh Shem Yahushua speaks through men, but do they align with the scriptures? You know? Verse 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. You know, those secret societies, man. Starting with Esau's and then his confederacy, and then, you know, even the wicked of our people that are involved in sister societies, man. Like the Black Boule, and, you know, you got Freemasonry, you got the Illuminati, you got all these different secret societies, which we don't need to be in secret, man. You know, this is all transparent. Because we don't have nothing to hide, man. Only reason why these people congregate in these secret societies is because they have shit to hide, man. Because they're doing evil. And they even show you in Hollywood, man. All those secret societies in Hollywood were up to no good. All those different laboratories in the movies were up to no good, man. Despite them, you know, sugarcoating it. Look at Jurassic Park, man, or Jurassic World. They was trying to make a hybrid dinosaur, and it ended up fucking killing everything, man. The Dominus Rex. Or look at that movie Old. You know? They wanted to cultivate, I believe, a coral plant to try to reverse aging. But they ended up being trapped on an island, which was basically an experimental island where they could see how quick this experiment works, but it would age them at a rapid rate, man. Where it depicted this newborn dying because it aged so fast that it died because it didn't have not comfort, but I want to say nourished and under the lines of being nourished and loved, man. So it ended up dying, man. You know? So even on the left-hand side with this technology, the Esau, he's going to use it for evil. And you people are going to fall right into it. Because it's just like this Apple Watch. It's just like this Apple phone. It's trendy. Now, I didn't buy these devices because of that. But to the average person, these things are trendy. And they want to be a part of the crowd. They want to fit in. So they're going to go in, get the C-hip. They're going to go get the MOTB because they want to live. They want to eat. They want to fit in. They don't want to miss out. They want to be a part of the crowd. They want to be a part of the multitude to do wickedness, to do evil, man. It says from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So we're going against the workers of iniquity. Esau's left-hand side. Esau is on the left-hand side, but Esau's left-hand, you know, conglomerate, man, to try to destroy the Israelites and the truth. He has to do these things in order to maintain his power, man. And ever since we stepped on the scene, his power has been waning. It says, who whet their tongue like a sword. You know, to whet something means to sharpen. You know, they speak evil against us, man. You know, they try to every opportunity that they get, they present us in a negative light to the world. You know, they look at us as we're 3/5 of a human being, as if we're nothing. Despite us being the children of God, they had to degrade who we are in order for the world to look at us in this magnitude, in this way. But now Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is reversing that by what? By introducing the truth into the world, man. And he has put it in the mind of Esau to create these instruments, whether it be the internet, whether it be AI, to aid in his own downfall. You know, causing him to err in every work thereof. It says, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, even passing their legislation, man. No, their law is geared toward, you know, destroying people, man. Their prison system, it's a lie. It's not for rehabilitation. It's to make you even a more hardened criminal, because it's basically nothing but gladiator school. You're constantly in there, you know, in fear, despite, you know, who you are, how big you are. You know, it's not punishment. It's the same environment that they were taken from the streets from. Because in the streets, it's survival. It's no different than jail and prison, man. You know? And instead of, you know, putting human beings in cages like animals, if the crime fits, why won't you just put them to death and send their ass back to the spirit world, man? And let them get another shot. You don't do that because you want people to think life is all you got. This life is all you got. And therefore you put the fear, you try to put the fear in the rest of the population, making them think twice about their action, but it's not working. You're wasting money in these prisons. If somebody committed murder, you should put them to death, man. If they committed child molestation or sexual acts, you should put them to death, man. But you don't. You know? But yet you pass these legislations, you show your statistics just to continually to demonize the people on this side. And now you have a war against them, sending in the military, but you don't show any of these other nations robbing, murdering, serial killing each other. You just show the people on this side. So when you get ready to do us like you did the Palestinians and try to genocide us, as the scriptures say, you're going to do to the 2/3 of our people, then the nations are going to be with it. Oh, these are just evil people. They're monsters because of what you depict in your movies, what you depict on TV, which all these different avenues of media is ran by the so-called Jew, man. They have a hand behind the scenes in all these industries. So it's them that is creating a nigga. It's them that is creating a gangster. It's them that is creating a hoe. They're paying certain influencers to influence the whole herd. So you can go off. And what I mean by going off, deviating from the law, statutes, commandments in which your God gave you. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And they don't have no fear of the consequence that is going to arise on them, man. They're downplaying that air or that anomaly in the outer space that's traveling at 130,000 miles per hour toward Earth, man. They don't think that there's no way that there's an intergalactic army that is coming to deliver the people on this sign. And the people on this sign don't even believe it, man. They're so destroyed and distraught from being a slave that they develop Stockholm syndrome to the point where they are in love with their slave master. And that's what a woman does, man. And matter of fact, when you go into like the dark, eerie statistics, one of the main fantasies of these women are to be raped. And those that do get raped, oftentimes they, end up falling in love with their assaulter. It's no different than, the people on this side with the so-called white man, man. He has done nothing but rape, robbed, murdered, lied to you, pumped your people with all types of diseases and said it was your fault, steered you away from your identity, steered you away from how you're supposed to be walking on earth to destroy you. They have never been our friends. They never had our best interests, but they want you to love everybody after they done shed yours and your ancestors' blood on this earth, man. No more. Like a campaign. No more. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. And this AI and biocompatibility and the Internet of Bodies and the Internet of Things, it's all part of them encouraging themselves in an evil manner. Because the ultimate goal is control. How many people said that? Alex Jones, Lindsey Williams, William Bill Cooper, Aaron Russo, when he interviewed one of the Rockefellers, the underlying theme or the key word of it all was control. They want control, man. And this is what this system is going to bring to them, a godlike control, man, which they're even going to fall victim to their own creation, man, which really is Yahweh Shem's creation. But they're going to fall victim to their own creation. It says they commune of laying snares. A snare is a trap. Privily is secretly. They're laying traps secretly, man. And then they'll guise it as, oh, this is something else that is beneficial for you. Oh, we need to stop crime. Which, even with that statement, they said crime is down in those cities in which they're, pushing the military toward. Which we're all for it, because we know that there's going to be a civil war simultaneously when there's a world war. So we know it's going to, these things have to happen, man. But it's the disguise in which they're doing it, man. It's devil-like behavior. And that's why we call him the devil. He's a deceiver. He don't got the cojones, he don't have the balls to just be up front and forward, man. These are the people that fucking smile in your face and act like they don't hate your guts. They don't have the balls to just tell you what's up right in front of your face. They don't even have the balls to use the N-word, man. If you... they'll use it all in their house, in the kitchen table and so on and so forth. But they don't got the balls to use it out in the open, man. I thought they were all powerful. But then that's just a part of their character. That's part of their characteristics of being a devil, man. They don't want you to know their true intent. They don't want you to know what they really think. It says they say, who shall see them? And they don't think anybody is paying attention, man. See, he's watching us But there's somebody that's bigger and more powerful that is watching him, man. And he doesn't take that into account. Because he has a vendetta against the Heavenly Father because he sold his birthrights for some uncooked meat. And then he wants you to feel some type of way about wanting your meat well done. Well, that whole wicked palate for blood is what got you, you know, supplanted of your blessing, man. And now they want everybody to consume meat raw, uncooked. And that's really part of what the carnivore diet really is. The carnivore diet is really when you're just eating the meat raw, man. Which, you know, if anybody's doing it, I'm pretty sure you're cooking it, but not saying that it may or may not happen, but I believe the reason why they're now, because the carnivore diet has been around for a minute, but I believe the reason why they're paying certain individuals to push it more is because they're upset that not too many people, or the amount of people that they wanted to get the V's in 2020, they didn't get them. So this is a campaign to get those that didn't get the shot injected by putting it into the meat. So you can consume the meat that has those NRA vaccine within it. Which, you know, they say they're a little bit off before they could actually put it in the meat. But how many times have they said that, man? And be lying. You know? That's why the scriptures say you're going to eat your defiled bread. It don't matter if you're eating vegetables exclusively, you're eating meat, poultry exclusively, even if you're eating fish exclusively, it could be destructive onto you, man. You know? So you got to be careful. You got to bless your food, man. You got to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua that, you know, you get the proper minerals, nutrients, vitamins, nourishment that is needed for you to, your body to sustain itself, right? Which a lot of you, man, you just, like the apostle always says, you just live to eat, man, instead of eat to live. Mass majority of you people, especially you women, you just live to eat. And then they're getting mad if you can't pay for a date, don't go on dates. Well, okay. A lot of you gonna starve to death because the only time you get to go to a halfway decent restaurant because you don't have the you don't have the insight or the foresight to go yourselves, pay for yourselves. Ain't nobody gonna be buying you shit. I'm not taking nobody out on the fucking date, man. I'm not working hard for no whore, man. And you can quote me on it. I'm not working hard for no whore. That's the reason why I just paid for the box. So why get mad? Why rebuke me for it? You got some niggas that say, oh, I'll never do it. Well, your forefather Judah did it. All you niggas that go back into the line of Judah. Another thing that does is prevent adultery. I don't got to worry about sleeping with another nigga's wife. But a lot of you probably have. You got rumors of you impregnating people that were belonging to somebody else, and you put 2 to 2. Your actions previously, who knows? Only the Most High knows. That was my whole reasoning to even, because I never paid for no pussy until I came into this truth, man. Except, to be honest, one motherfucking time. And that was just like on some spur of the moment type fucking, just, driving around type shit. And that was just one time, but other than that, I didn't start really paying for boxing until I went to that strip club in San Francisco, man. But one thing that does do, it prevents adultery. So you ain't gotta be burning or lusting after another man's wife. You ain't gotta be concerned about if she has a man or not, because you already know she's a whore. You're just renting her out. Like if you go in the Avis or budget car or drive time, whatever place that rents cars out, that's what you doing to the modern day American woman. You just renting her out, man. It's just your turn. Verse 6, it says they search out iniquities. Right, and that's what they're going to be doing with the AI too, man. With their pre-thought crime. Palantir, with Gideon, with the gospel. All these are going to be integrated together to search shit out, to behold the good and the evil, man. They're going to know when you take a shit, and they're going to know what toilet paper you like to wipe your ass with, man. And they're going to do an airdrop right on top of your fucking house, man. And then you're going to have a fucking, a box of toilet paper just stationed on your roof like old boy had that pizza on his roof in Breaking Bad, man. Most High work in mysterious ways, man. It says they accomplish a diligent search, and they search out everything, man. And that's why I always say, study them like they study you. know your enemy, man. You people think that the white man is such a good friend to you, and he really has a say. Let me get that scripture because it's nearby. Real quick, this is Psalms chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. And butter is smooth, man. They always talk about a hot knot running through butter. All that bullshit. Butter is smooth. When you talk to a dude smooth with the gift of gab, which I witnessed a lot of people with the gift of gab, man. And most of them were all pieces of shit. I don't trust a nigga that talk too fucking much, that want to be loud, the loudest nigga in the room, that is always smiling and always laughing and dancing, all in the videos. I never could trust a nigga like that because there's something that he's trying to compensate for. He got the peacock mentality, man. He's waiting to receive the energy from the world instead of receiving the gifts from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. A lot of you, when I was meditating on before I came out here, a lot of you think it's you doing the things. Bagging the bitch. Getting some box. Getting this, getting that. And not one time do you thank Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for it, man. You don't even thank Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for waking your ass up. Shit, I got this app that monitors sleep apnea, and I'm monitoring the time that I have REM sleep, man. I'll be like, fuck, man, I didn't get that connection long enough. I need to work on my diet. I need to work on shit to optimize my REM sleep so I can get that spiritual connection at night, man. A lot of you niggas, you don't even have the mind to consider it. You rather just, drink yourself to death where you ain't getting shit. You getting totally blocked off. Because alcohol and caffeine, it don't mix with you getting that proper sleep and you achieving REM sleep, man. But let me continue. It says, but war was in his heart. Right, so despite him talking to the people with smooth words, just like now with DJ Trump, his smooth words is he needs to stop crime. With some areas in the country, hell yeah, you do. Am I for him sending the military on the street? Hell yeah, I'm for him sending the military on the street because I know it's part of prophecy, man. I know it's a part of biblical prophecy. So yeah, I'm for him sending the military on the street, man. Yeah, I want those 2/3 niggas to be put to death, man. If I'm a 2/3 nigga, I want to be put to death, man. If I ain't doing this true, I'd rather be put to death, man. If I ain't living and walking in righteousness, which I'm doing to the best of my ability, if I ain't doing the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, I'd rather go back to the spirit world, man. I ain't got nothing in this world, man. Even if I had it all. My whole life was authored for this moment, man. So if I'm not experiencing this moment, which is righteousness, then I don't want to experience nothing else. Shit, you feel like a god when you have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you have a relationship with the Heavenly Father and His Son, man. Me more so to Yahweh Shai. Me so more Yahweh Shai. I don't know what Yahweh thinks about me. But I know it ain't I don't think he thinks evil, because he wouldn't allow me to do good. How could you be allowed to do good if you're evil? And I'm not a broken clock that's I ain't a broken clock that's right twice a day. I'm right at all time of the day, man. Because of not me, but Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, man. And the words and the discernment and the faith and the gift and the resilience and the refusing to quit, refusing to give up. Because now I understand when he was carrying that cross, and I believe the brother that helped him was Simon. That was a moment, and he was battered and bruised. He was cut up. He was flogged. He was in bad shape, but he was still carrying that cross. He could have fucking gave up right then, man. But he didn't. And that's what Esau fears, man. He fears those that ain't gonna give up for shit. He fears those that is gonna continue to glorify and praise Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua no matter what the circumstance is, man. If it was his kingdom, his servants would fight, man. I'll kill for this truth. And I'll be killed for this truth, man. A lot of you couldn't even put down a piece of pussy for this truth down, man. You can't even tell a bitch, I'll see you tomorrow for this truth. And I'm saying it based on, experience. I'm going to start at the top again. This is Psalms chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So despite him saying he's trying to fight crime, he's really going to slaughter you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous, just like they're doing to those Palestinians, which a lot of them are Jakes. There's a lot of Jakes out there too, man. Just as there's a lot of Israelites, real true Israelites that live in Israel. All throughout the Levant, the Middle East. Get your geographical game up, man. That's part of the truth too. You gotta know maps. You gotta know words. You know? Which, that's the thing with this whole debating shit, man. It's been going on for so long to no avail, man. What fruit have you gained from it, man? Because everybody that's around you are a bunch of bug outs too. Just because you know just a little bit more than somebody else and you're able to debate with them, that don't mean you got the full truth, man. You're still a bug out. It's just a zombie drooling at you and saying that their clothes are just a little bit better. They got just a little bit more epidermis on their skeletal structure, man. That's it. Oh, I got a little bit more muscles than you. I could tell you what to do. Nah, man, we're fully reanimated, man. And I firmly believe that level of intelligence that Apostle Gabar alluded to, dealing with the five intelligence, which he was speaking about in Yale, man. Which intelligence in this world is just governed about how lazy you are, man. Are you too late? If you're lazy, you're gonna fail. If you're not lazy, you're gonna succeed, man. How much do you put into something? That dictates how intelligent you are. Because I got degrees. I'm a high honor roll student. I carried a 4.0 until, I start, catching hell like a motherfucker. Do I feel like I'm more smarter than another brother that is in this truth? No. Not because of the wisdom of this world. I might be smarter than that brother in this truth that I've been in the truth longer, and that's just because of experience, man. Wisdom comes also with experience. It says, but war was in his heart, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So this is just a ploy, a sophisticated plot by Esau to put his military on the street in the guise of fighting crime, man. In the guise of getting these homeless people off the street, man. But you gotta fight for that, man. You gotta fight for those that are disenfranchised, misfortunate, man. What happened to that? What happened to people giving their 10% to the homeless? There's no reason why this is the top country in the world, but there's still, you say what? Good morning, sir. There's no reason why this is the top country in the world and it has one of the worst homeless populations, man.
Damn straight.
Right.
They're persecuting the homeless, like they're picking them up all the time and putting them in jail and shit like that.
Right.
But jail for a few days from R&R and get lots of food, so
Yeah, but
jail for a week or a month.
yeah, but still, man.
Can't get out and roam around here.
Right. They won't put the homeless in concentration camps.
You know what I got an idea?
What's up, man?
Check it out. I went to the ER the other day because I hadn't had my pacemaker checked in years.
Uh-huh.
And I started feeling all like, man, I can hardly move. I thought, maybe I'd have my pacemaker checked out. So I go to the ER, which is hell on earth. It's all packed up with all kinds of stuff. And guys came down, finally got called, but I had my pacemaker checked. So they put me on this thing to check the pacemaker and discovered it hasn't been working for the last 8 years. And so they took the battery out of it. They cut a finger across my skin like that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still see it here. But they took the pacemaker battery out. They went to the upstairs. They called the manufacturer company to check out what the pacemaker take nowadays as current specifications for the pacemaker. And so when they took it out, I'm sitting there in the ER, and I was sitting next to this guy, and we were there for so long and seeing what mess it was that we decided we probably one of us would get out of the ER before the other, and we would call the other and see how we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get home and I talk to my manager where I live, and sort of evicted me because my room's a big mess, because of the bug spraying they did over there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you a veteran?
Yes.
What's your rank?
I was I wanted to experience the military experience in life.
But are you a veteran?
I'm not an officer. No.
Have you ever been in the Army?
I've been in combat though.
Where?
Okay, in Panama.
Panama?
Yeah, back when Noriega was the president of Panama, and he was involved in.
How long you been homeless?
I'm not homeless. I live in California.
Oh, you live on the California Street?
California Hotel, right up the next block.
Oh.
See where the tall building is right there? To the street?
Okay.
I live on the 7th floor on this side, where the window's facing out that way. And
Have you ever experienced homelessness?
Yeah.
Okay. How long?
I think the longest time was about 4 months, almost 4 months.
4 months, and you're a veteran?
Yeah.
See, that shouldn't be in a country like this.
I didn't even bother going to check out the VA or anything like that.
You know what the scriptures say about that? Being homeless and being a veteran. This is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, which your heart is your mind,
Right.
according to the scriptures. And the third maketh me angry, a man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. The Lord prepares such a one for the sword. So he hates the fact that men of war, veterans, are on the street suffering
by our
poverty.
very own government.
And that's one of the reasons why this place is prophesied to be destroyed.
Right. Because when I died in the ER, so I'm a Christian. I've been since all this time, and I walk with God, I talk with God, and I get these inspirations like God's talking to me. I see many times. And when I died in the ER, I had this dream where I'm seeing somebody. I felt like I was looking up from the ceiling down, where they had this gurney and stuff, and they had this guy laying on there, and they're zapping him with the teacher, and he's going like that, and I'm like tripping out on that, and then I started seeing. I looked up at the ceiling, and it was open like a TV screen, and I'm seeing like news on the TV showing tanks and armies coming together from the east, like the Chinese and the Korean, and from the north, like the European countries, and from like across the seas, like from the United States and stuff like that, and the Middle Eastern countries there, and even along northern Africa, in areas in there, like in Ukraine. And it's
Right.
It's all the countdown for the second coming of Jesus, and it will be happening sometime. I saw this thing in 15 years of that classic on a billboard. It said 15 years. 15 years was a question mark, and it was give and take. And I thought it meant give and take things to people.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was 15 years give and take, 5 years or so.
Well, around the proximity of time in which he's going to make his second return is when they make a chip mandatory, where you got to get a chip implant.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be worldwide. That's when you can look and see the time. Yeah, the mark of the beast. What do you think the mark of the beast is?
It's a log-on number to the internet, to computers.
Not quite.
The beast will be controlling the internet.
Well, it's a device that's gonna.
And you can't even buy or sell.
Right,
unless you're
right,
at the market of the
right.
beast.
It's a device that's gonna connect you to the Internet of Things.
Yeah, right.
And it's gonna be an implant, a chip that's in your hands or in your foreheads, like Elon Musk Neuralink. That too. It's called biocompatibles.
Well, my pacemaker is biocompatible.
Right.
So I've already got. I'm a cyborg. I'm part human and part electronic machine. See, can you dig it? Like like Borgs.
My uncle
like
got some pacemaker too.
Like the Borgs in what's the series about the people traveling through space and stuff? Star Trek. You know, they have those people that live on a planet called Borg, and then they're like cyborgs. They're part human beings or part alien beings too.
Yeah.
That they get in conquer the world or they catch them in the battle in space and they take prisoner and they put part of the electronic and computer stuff in, you know, and put them like they're a robot or like a machine. So that's what a cyborg is. It's cybernetic. Cybernetic, something or other organism. Cyborg. Cybernetic biological organism.
Right.
Cyborg. And that's what the Borgs are in Star Trek. They're people that converted by the master of the computer that's on board. Stranger than you.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue though.
Yeah, okay,
nice
I gotta get over to the bank here.
Nice talking to you.
I got some money coming in.
Nice talking to you,
nice
man.
talking to you, man. What's your name?
Isaac Mawar.
Isaac what?
Isaac Mawar, you just call me Isaac.
Isaac, okay.
Isaac.
Yeah, that's good. Isaac or Isaac?
Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac.
Okay. Isaac.
Yeah.
Like Isaac Christian.
Yeah. All right, man. You have a good day.
I like that, man. That's a cool name.
Thank
My
you.
name's David. Warrior Prince of Israel.
Yeah, that's a good name too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing, man. They're guys in the military.
Yeah, that I can see that. I understand that. Yeah, that's like the next step coming in our evolution.
Well, you got to think too. If you're familiar with Nazi Germany, that's the same thing that they did in the Third Reich, which America is nothing but the Fourth Reich. They started with one group of people, but then it ended up being everybody. So their whole thing is the homeless first, right? To get the homeless off the streets. And now they're saying, okay, after them, we're going after the gang members, the thugs, the criminals.
Right.
They're saying it was immigrants, right, at first, but now they're transitioning to American citizens. Right. And they're going to be sending American citizens to concentration camps or alligator Alcatrazes, whether it be in South America or whether it be in Africa. Right. Some of them are going to be shipped across the pond.
Right, I can dig it. I
so
understand that, yeah. And it makes perfect sense. Let it be like that. And it's all prophesied.
Right.
All prophesied. So if he has understand the word of God, the message that's been given, will come to pass.
Right.
Left too. Right left. Right left. What's I'm doing? Right left.
All right, man, you have a good one. So going back to AI Copilot, it says secret councils dealing with Psalm 64 verses 2 through 6. Secret council, hidden snares, which we know snares to be traps, right? It goes on and says data lakes plus entity resolution plus pattern of life. So they're even trying to construct your pattern of life models. And that's how they got the mob, man. They will follow and do, that's where you get stakeouts. Where they the cops, the detectives, they'll get, some lunch and just sit in the car watching your every move, man. Showing you that, or logging that you're going to this place at this time, and then you're traveling to this place at this time, you're home at this time, so on and so forth. But they want to do that with the internet or AI. Because all you people, you put your business out on the internet. you tell everybody what you're doing at any given moment, posting on live, you know, posting to your what do you call your board or whatever the hell they call it, you know, and they're collecting all that data, man. That's why you're getting all these different ads to the point where you think, you know, it's reading your mind. Getting low on toilet paper because they're hearing you. You probably in the house walking, pacing around your house and thinking to yourself, well, shit, I need toilet paper. Then boom, you get an ad for toilet paper, man. You know? It says pattern of life models create a simulacrum of omniscience that authenticates the beast's authority. Simeon, which goes back to signs, to kings and peoples. And then it goes into speech, image that speaks, which is Revelation. Got Satan, prince of the power of the air, right? You got Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life onto the image. That image is dealing with this system, which is a extension of the Roman system, right? Of the beast is NATO and the EU. That the image of the beast should both speak. So there's that word speak. So let's go back to where it goes to speak, image that speaks. Revelation 13 and 15. The image speaks and sanctions. Think automatic notices. Algorithmic adjudication. Let me look up that word. Adjudicated. Or adjudication. 1690s for the noun. Action of adjudging. From Old French adjudication. Let me go to the pronunciation. Education. Hold on. Just bear with me. Education pronunciation. No. Adjudication. I gotta spell it out. Adjudication, act of judging. Adjudicate, pronounce judgment upon, reward judicially. Judicially. 1700, a back formation from adjudication, grant or award as a judge. To make a judicial decision, decide by judicial opinion, to judge, pass judgment on. So it's through algorithms is what's gonna be passing judgment upon you, man. Just like that pre-thought crime bullshit, man. Machine directives that trigger real world force. Pre-thought crime, man. Right? It's gonna trigger a police response. gonna trigger. I had to scratch my back. It's gonna on the tree. It's gonna produce a police response. Same thing that you seen in Tom Cruise's Minority Report. You know, it says Deuteronomy 13:1-3 warns signs can speak policy against Torah. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 13 because we read it yesterday. This is Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass. So there are individuals that were given the ability through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua to produce signs and wonders, right? It says, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let's go after other gods, other powers, other doctrines, right? Which thou hast not known. Anything that's not of the 100% truth, man. And it could be something minuscule, right? And let us serve them. So you're not supposed to serve anything other than Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, man. Including your fucking camp leader if he going off, man. It says, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahweh, which is in all caps, your power proveth you. So the Most High, he sets up certain men to prove, to see if you really are for him, whether they're in this truth or not, whether they're of the circumcision or not. And a lot of you that are in these false camps, you're not proving yourselves that the Most High is in your heart, man. If you don't have the 100% wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're not proving to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, which sees all things, that he is in your heart. I'm just waiting too. Let me get ready so I ain't gotta get ready. So I'm just waiting for the wind to knock this laptop over. It says, for Yahweh your power proveth you to know whether ye love Yahweh your power with all your heart and with all your soul. And this is an example of me proving it, man. To continue to do this work. Not about the frills and bullshit. I'm about about that action, boss. Like Beast Mode likes to say, man. You know? Or is it gonna take an individual that might be in a certain camp to tell you that you're wasting your time, which is the same, under the same lines of what's being said in Deuteronomy the 13th chapter? Are you gonna hearken on to him, or are you gonna continue doing what Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua told you to do? So this is what this whole system is gonna do. It's gonna try to put you in a position of desperation, of the moment of truth, in the position of you being presented with a choice. Are you going to do the right thing, or are you going to do the wrong thing? The right thing is to follow after the Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, follow after the Lamb, Shiloh. Or the wrong thing is doing the opposite. I don't know, man. Fuck Verizon. So going back to AI, it says signs can speak policy against Torah. Also, and then also within the Torah, it talks about the physical awl, spelled A-U-L, which a lot of you have it, that awl with the gauges that you put in your ears, the same concept. Depicting to the world that you belong to a master. Now that digital awl is going to be the C-hip, you know, showing your allegiance to this new system, this beast system. Which all you people chasing the bag and dying and killing each other for the money, this system is about to be done away with. It's already in its stage to be replaced. That's why they passed legislation like the Genius Act and other different legislations to promote a digital currency. It says sanction, buy, sell, gates. Revelation 13 and 17, market access as liturgy. Let's go to Revelation then. Back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 17. It says, "And that no man might buy or sell." So you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have this C-hip, man. And they're going to be able to know by their surveillance system, their surveillance, if you're stealing or not, or if you paid or not. They're going to have security. They might have robots that patrol, as they already do. Humanoid robots. Terminators. You know, truth is stranger than fiction, right? It says, save he that hath the mark. The only way you're going to be able to buy or sell is if you have the chip. The C-hip. It's the only way you're going to be able to function, man. You ain't going to be able to pay your rent. You ain't going to be able to pay your car note, your car insurance, your registration. You ain't going to be able to pay for maintenance. You ain't going to be able to pay your energy bill. You ain't going to be able to pay shit without that chip, man. That's where the world is headed. Right? It says, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And also quotes Amos 8 and 5. It talks about false weights, false balances. Amos chapter 8 verse 5, it says, saying when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great. They're all about gaining money, gaining riches, and falsifying the balances by deceit. You know, changing the weight so they could get more money, man. Almost like when you're selling those oils, man, those fragrances. You know, some people dilute them just so they could stretch their main bottle, their pound even further, man. So you thinking that you're getting, you know, oil that is unadulterated, and really it's cut, you know, just so somebody can make even more money. It says weights and measures rigged. And then it links up with Habakkuk chapter 2, 6 through 13, which goes into debt, man. Heavy debts. It says debt, bricks, mortar, the city, programmable money, digital IDs. You're going to have a digital ID, right? And risk scores. You're going to have a credit score system, just like in China, man. You know, a lot of y'all credit is fucked up. Mainly the people on this sign, their credit is fucked up. So when they transition to the system, how many of you are gonna have a good credit score, man, to be able to function in this society? Even if you even make it that far. It says, and risk scores become the altar call. Accept the brand to pass the turnstile. Right? And it also says Esau present dominion. So we're in the time of Esau ruling, man. But they don't want you to know who they are. And they'll be anybody under the sun besides the Edomite. And you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous, in their eyes, you could be anything on the earth besides the Israelite. And then all you stupid Christians out there, in order to be a Christian, you have to be an Israelite, man. Because they call the Israelites Christians as a derogatory term, man. Which just basically means oil or anointed. This is Genesis chapter 27, verse 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, which he's speaking on to Esau, the progenitor of the so-called white man, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Right, because he's in control of the whole earth. That's why he fancies himself as the police of the world, man. Policing all these nations, man. Telling these nations what they can and what they cannot do. Despite them even having a near peer or peer-to-peer military, man. At it and showcasing his arrogancy, man. It says, and of the dew of heaven from above. He set his, really the International Space Station was set up by the Russians, but they're Edomites too, man. He set up his defenses in the heavens to combat Yahweh Shai when he returns. And also he has his satellites to surveil the earth. It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And these group of people, if you look at their track record, all they have done is raped, robbed, and murdered through their military, man. Whether it be Greece, whether it be Rome, you know, whether it be the beast in the time of Europe, Dark Ages, medieval times, or whether it be the times that we're living in now with the United States. It says, and shall serve thy brother. So there was a time when the so-called white man was our slave, man. We were over them during the time of the Dark Ages. But they don't want you to know that. They want you to think that they were the first, the beginning, the last, the only. And really, they're a new thing in the earth, man. You know, so-called white boy is a new thing in the earth, man. You know? It says, and thou shalt serve thy brother, which he was under us during the Dark Ages. That's why they don't teach you about the Dark Ages in the schools. And when they do teach about it, they put their images, all their images on there, man. And want you to think that we only came from Africa, which that's a lie. Because the first slaves came from Spain. They came from Europe. It says, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. So he's in his dominion now. That was the rebirth, the Renaissance, which he was going to regain dominion. Thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So now Esau's in his little season. The same little season, right, that is spoken of in Revelation, the 20th chapter. Real quick, this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, which happened in the 1400s, I'm not going to give the exact dates, right? Satan, so the physical counterpart on earth to Satan, which Satan means adversary, is the so-called white man who's adversarial to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, man, and their laws, statutes, and commandments. You know? It says Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. So that's the reason why the so-called white man now is in rule. Because he was loosed out of his prison. That prison was Europe during the Dark Ages. You know? Which also Europe is the bottomless pit that is spoken of in the book of Revelation. Because it has no natural resources. Which I'm not going to bring Obadiah. You can read Obadiah, the book of Obadiah on your own, and Malachi 1 and 4 on your own. I brought those out. It says Esau builds, boasts, and falls. In this season, his sword is code and censor. His fatness is data value extraction. Which that's just Copilot giving his take upon the parameters I set for this lesson, man. But I already broke down what his sword is. His sword is his military and his military technologies, right? His fatness is his control. It goes into Gideon's counter pattern. Quotes Judges 6 through 25. Judges, which I'm not going to get. Judges chapter 6, verses 25 through 32. Also, Judges chapter 7, verses 2 through 7. It says, shrink the host, smash the pitcher, shine the lamp. Faithful remnant beats superior surveillance by obedience, not bandwidth. And that's crucial too. The Most High, he's going to protect his elect, man. You know, as it says in the book of Thessalonians, right? Which these are meant to comfort you, right? Those that are doing the right thing. It says, I think it's verse 7, verse 8. Right. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 9. It says, for the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by Adawan Nawa Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. So he didn't appoint the elect to wrath, but to obtain salvation. Right? That's the reason why you're delivered out of so many situations, man. You know? Oh, that happened in real life. I even had a scenario that happened in real life where there was a big bull mastiff, probably mixed pit bull, that started to bark, right? And it was coming after me, and I just stood my ground, man, and act like he didn't even exist. And what happened after that? Oh, he just chilling. If I start petting him, he probably would have rolled on his back and got a tummy rub. But to anybody else, that guard dog would have ate your ass up. Same with these demonic spirits out here, man. You know, that's the reason why a lot of you get your ass beat out here when you come out and do the work by these individuals with these demons on them, because they don't know you. You know? Like the scriptures say, Paul I know, not quoting verbatim, but who the fuck are you? You know? So now it says precept chains for teaching the counterfeit gospel of control. So what Esau is trying to do is construct a counterfeit gospel for control, man. Or of control. So I want to bring out quotes and related articles that frame the moment. As you know, Copilot says, it says Palantir's platform as infrastructuring. Peer-reviewed analysis maps Palantir's surveillance patterns and platform ecosystem, showing how metadata ontology standards structure access and power in policing and intelligence. Contested claims on targeting. Waiting for the wind to pass. It says corporate statements deny involvement with specific IDF AI targeting programs, which is Gospel and Lavender, while affirming defense partnerships. Public allegations and rebuttals illustrate opacity, and accountability challenges. AI-assisted targeting growth. Reporting on the gospel describes rapid automated target generation at orders of magnitude scale compared to prior campaigns, highlighting how computational sign works accelerate lethal decision cycles. Which this is all to hunt you people down, man. Especially the people on this side. It says surveillance to warfare pipeline. A research synthesis argues Palantir's tools have been embedded across battlefield analytics and domestic control, predictive policing, immigration, raising oversight and bias concerns. Gideon, threat detection pitches, media coverage of Palantir's backed Gideon platform for extremism detection. So Gideon is used to detect extremism, man, on the internet, on YouTube, on Rumble, on Kick, on Twitch, on, Spotify, whatever platform people are trying to push this truth on, man. Whether it be on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, whether you have the 100% truth or you don't. Let me read it again. It says, media coverage of Palantir-backed Gideon platform for extremism detection on social media signals the expansion of pre-crime style tools toward local law enforcement. And that's why you're seeing now more than ever your local law enforcement being militarized, man. And also tag teaming with the military. And it goes into exhortation, which exhortation means encouragement. So this is Copilot giving you some encouragement, right? It says, refuse the enchanted markets. Hold the testimony. And the only way you could hold testimony is if you got testes, man. That's the only way you could testify. So a woman can't testify, man. She don't got testes, right? In which the word comes from. It says doctrinal test of signs. Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 5. And then I'm going to get Isaiah 8 and 20 because we already got Deuteronomy 13. Brought that out a few times already. 8 and 20. This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So there ain't no light in them, man. No knowledge. If you ain't got no knowledge in you, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you ain't going to be walking in the light, man. So if you're not speaking according to this word, right, that means there ain't no light in you. And that includes all you niggas, man, that don't got the 100% truth, that want to do debates, that want to march up and down the street, man. Like motherfuckers can't just send Predator Jones and shoot hellfire missiles at your retarded ass, man. Or do you like the Apache helicopter did in that movie Warfare? Was it called Warfare? No, that was the other movie. It was called Civil War. Dude, the water. Y'all boss him, y'all shot. It was called Civil War, man. Where they had the Apache helicopter doing damage, man. You know? And I'm just going to continue. It says, and they shall pass through it, hardly bestead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upward. And they shall look onto the earth and behold trouble and darkness, dimness and anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. All because of what? They didn't speak according to this word. Why? Because there's no light in them. So 2/3 of our people are going to be in darkness, man. They ain't going to know what the hell is going on. They ain't going to know what to do, man. Oh, well, they'll get it in the kingdom. That's why I don't fear death. Why fear death, man? Yeah, you use certain words to persuade men, but why fear death? I'm gonna live forever, man. My spirit is indestructible because it's the same energy that's from my father, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So those that die on this side are just gonna come back in the kingdom, man, through the loins of those who survive, who make it. You know? It says, if the signs turn you from commandments, it is a lie. Right. And why would you want to be an individual that speaks lies? So you could lead someone else astray. So you could have someone else fall into destruction. That's an asshole move, man. That's a lack of character. That's a lack of integrity, man. You know, men, real men, it's not about being macho. It's not about how much weight you can lift, man. It's about character. It's about integrity. It's about being able to hold yourself accountable, man. Being loyal to the soil. not on the left hand tip. I'm talking about being loyal to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. You know? It also says allegiance under pressure. And it quotes Revelation chapter 16. Or Salaki chapter 14, verse 6 through 12. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel, the good news, to preach unto them that dwell on the earth. So this gospel is preached to the whole world, man, because the Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man. And to every nation, because we're in every nation, and kindred, and tongue just mean a different language. You had this you had this individual come up here. He could have been an Edomite. Came up here talking about he speaks in tongues. Which they don't understand. These Christians, they don't have an understanding of the concept of speaking in tongues according to the scriptures. It just merely means another language. Say if I speak English, me speaking in tongues will be speaking in Greek or speaking in Latin, you know, or speaking in Swahili or speaking Arabic. That would be me speaking in tongues, different languages, you know. But what did Esau do? He brought deception with his Hollywood. A lot of you base the scriptures on what you've seen in Hollywood movies, man. And that's far from the truth. But the Most High, he sent us here to inform you, right, on how to follow after the Lamb, man, according to the scriptures, right? It says, and people saying with a loud voice, fear Yahweh and give glory to him. For the hour of his judgment is come. It's only going to take an hour for America to be wiped off the face of the earth, man. Next year is 250 years of its existence. And it's only going to take an hour to destroy over 250 years worth of rape, robbery, and murder, man. It says, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And you meditating on those things, who should you really fear, man? The one that controls the minds of men, that put it in their mind to construct their technologies? The one that created all things, the waters, that the water can kill you, man, or it could bring you life. Created fire that could destroy you. You know, created buildings, put it in the mind of men to create buildings that could collapse on top of your ass. And that brick could be flung by the unseen world to hit exactly you. We seen it when we saw those videos of individuals driving their car and the brick just comes out of nowhere and smashes through the windshield and kills them. That's the Heavenly Father. Or a couple years back, that nigga that ended up on one of the freeway signs in LA, man. And nobody knew how he got up there. Nobody knew how he got up there, man. He just like a fucking smashed fly. Barak Yahweh Shem Yah Shot, the water Yahweh Shem Yah Shot, Salak Yahweh Shem Yah Shot, 144. It says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon, which Babylon is America, is fallen, that great city. The entirety of America, not America, but the United States is reference of the great city. Because she made all nations drink of the wine, its philosophies, ideologies, and policies, right? or the wrath of her fornication. Fornication in this sense is spiritual adultery, following after false deities that don't even exist, right? And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, so if you involve yourself in this system that they're establishing, right? And his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, which the majority of you people that are going to succumb to this deception is you women. You women are the easiest to deceive, man. How the hell else do you think all those men that weren't your knight in shining armor got into your pants, man, got into your panties and left your ass a single mother, man? If you were a creature that made the utmost right decisions, man, that had the utmost discernment. Just like I mentioned earlier, there's a bimbo that is still looking for another man while she's 13 weeks pregnant, man. And the dude don't want nothing to do with her or the baby. So the mass majority of these women are a bunch of dumbasses, man. They're the weaker vessel. And for a lot of them, their man is the government. And the face of the government is the so-called white man. That's why you have these stupid nigger women that will snicker and look down on you because they got some low-level cracker as their husband, man. They think they made it because some white boy wants to experience a little jungle fever, man. And then they look down on the black man, so-called, as if they're actually, doing better. All the way until that Edomite ends up chopping their ass up, man. And then you're gonna have all the rest of the peanut gallery of nigger women crying and how could he do this? But nobody's caring because if you charm a serpent and you get bit, that's on you. Just a bunch of dummies. It says the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he or she shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. Brimstone represents radiation. In the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So when the elect are taken up into those ships, they're going to be watching you people burn, man. They're going to be watching you people scraping and scrambling, daddy. On some fucking diddler shit, man. Yeah, man, they're going to be seeing you scraping and scrambling, trying to get away from that fire, man. To no avail. Right? And the smoke of their torment is sitting up forever and ever for a very, very long time, man. It probably take about a thousand days. Not 1,000 days, 1,000 years just for that fire to subside here in America from that nuclear fire, man. I believe they said the site in which Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities is still smoking, man. And then there's going to be another great fire when we round these Edomites up, the men of them. We're going to save the Edomite woman. We're going to save the beautiful so-called white woman. And she going to want to be saved, man. And that's a sign that you so-called white man, you're losing your power. Because even your woman wants a taste of the so-called black man, the so-called Latino man, the so-called indigenous of American man. They are having babies. They're getting married to them, man. That's a sign that your power is waning, man. Shit, I even got me a little Teemanite woman, man. Despite, you know, she might be a Jake, and she probably is, the way that she get on my fucking nerves, but, you know, still the same, man. On the outside, you thinking it's a pretty white woman, man. Pretty little white woman. She like one of those Dixie chicks. She from St. Louis, so she got a little country accent to her, man. And I love taking her around, man. I walk with my, you know, with my head up high, like, and she ain't the first Edomite looking woman I've been with. You know, I have plenty of so-called white and Mexican women. That's the first group of women that I started dealing with. Until one starry fucking night, some way, somehow, man, I was introduced to that tar. That tar that Calvin Candy was talking about. That if you accidentally fall in it, it might not never let your ass go. It took a while for me to get out that tar, man, through the grace of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshua, man. You know? And I came back to my senses. And also, that's just, you know, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshua put me in situations to experience and gain experience, man. Right? It says, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image. So this new world order, this great reset, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. You receive the C-hip, right? Here is the patience, which patience means the suffering of the saints. The saints represent you Israelites, man. Particularly the elect of the nation of Israel, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous of America, you are the true children of God, man. And that's the reason why the devil is coming down on you with great wrath. Because he wants to genocide you like they doing the Palestinians right now. But you're the real target. You know? It says, here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahweh Shai. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in Yahweh Shai from henceforth. So if you're in this truth and you were called back home and you died in this truth, doing the work, doing the right thing, then you're blessed. A few I could think of. Which, you know, some I don't know their names, unfortunately, but the brother that, you know, I always said used to be like one of the first brethren that would subscribe to one of my channels, because a lot of my channels get deleted, man. And then sometimes if I got too many strikes on a channel, I'll just delete it myself. Just start all over. But some way, somehow, get your mind right. GMS, get your mind right. He's in the spiritual world. I believe him to be of the elect. And the brother in Houston, which I remember he got on me around the time I had to go through my situation, I believe him to be a man of the Lord. He in the spiritual world, man. Right? The Most High sent me a dream which affirmed my faith in the fact that King Mashah is King David. He's in the spiritual world, man. I had a dream about King Mashah, and we was in like a dark colored, I want to say a brownish type of van, and we just got done selling oils, because I used to sell oils too. At fairs, in the streets, in the car, and I was sitting in the driver's seat and he was sitting in the passenger seat, which makes sense. I was the one chauffeuring him because he's the king, man. So that affirmed my faith that he is King David through a dream that the Most High allowed me to see. That's why I know niggas like y'all will call in King David, man. That's just a demon. Or any other you niggas that say that you're King David, man. That haven't even been through an inkling of what he went through, man. You wouldn't even know where to begin to describe the turmoil and the feeling behind those circumstances, man. But you want that mantle. You know, you want to exalt yourself to that. It says, and the faith of Yahweh, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in Yahweh from henceforth. Yeah, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. So the works of those men that passed away, they're going to follow them. Not because it's going to be on the internet, because it's going to be on the mind of Yahweh, man, who sees all things. He's the one that keeps the record, man. I'm worried about the eyes of the Heavenly Father and His Son rather than the eyes of men. Because a lot of you just agree with what the collective agrees on, whether if it's right or wrong. A lot of you just agree on what the collective agrees on. And when you're put in a situation when you're removed from the collective, then that's when it is revealed that you didn't believe in the fucking first place, man. Niggas believe in the tooth fairy the whole time, man. You believe in I forget the nigga now, I think his name was Eric. You believe in the little monsters underneath your bed, and there's a shadow world that you could get sucked into, man. Man. It says, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud, which that cloud represents a chariot. And upon the cloud one sat like the Son of Man, which is Yahweh Shai, having his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, saying, temple crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe, and you people are the grapes. And the angel thrust in his sickle, and that sickle represents destruction and judgment, into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. And the winepress was trodden without the city in blood, and that's It's talking symbolically. And blood came out of the winepress even to the horses' bridles. And that's the bit in the mouth that controls a horse all the way to his mouth. Horses between 6, 7, 8 feet tall. By the space of 1,600 furlongs, man. And that's a lot of space. So going back to Copilot, it says, everlasting gospel versus beast worship. The patience of the saints is commandment-keeping faith. Right? It says separation and endurance. Revelation 18:4. It says in the it says, and I heard another voice from heaven, which this is a chariot, the angel speaking from the chariot, saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. Saying to come up into the chariots. Her sins, being partakers thereof, is that nuclear destruction. And that ye receive not of her plagues. Those nuclear missiles are plagues, man. That's the ultimate plague. That fire that's going to cleanse the earth of its wickedness, man. And it says Hebrews 11, start at 32 through 40. Right? This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 32. And what shall I say more? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, of David, also, and Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness. So how do they subdue kingdoms? Through faith, man. You know? Wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong. So just because you think a brother is weak now in his infancy, don't mean he's going to be weak later on, man. Right? But then you're going to be judged on how you handled that situation. Because I'd rather fall into the hands of Yahweh Shai than fall into the hands of men. Right? It says, wax valiant and fight, turn to flight the armies of the aliens, which are the heathens. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance that they might obtain a better resurrection. And that goes back to the 7 sons, man. They rather die than to forsake the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, expecting a resurrection to, life, a better resurrection, right? And others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, moreover of bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented. So sheepskins and goatskins was was not fashionable. It wasn't a Vizus. It wasn't Tommy Hilfiger. It wasn't Versace or Balenciaga or Lago, whatever the fuck you call it. It wasn't none of. They weren't wearing none of that shit, man. Your attire represented pretty much who you are, what state of mind you were in, man. That's why you had clothing for harlots, you had clothing for priests, you had clothing for people that were mourning, you had clothing for those that were in authority, you had calming clothing, you had clothing for royalty, which purple was a color of royalty because in order to make that dye, it cost a lot. So much that those that had a lot of money or who were royalty only could afford, man. Right? It says, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and in caves of the earth. And these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. The Most High having provided some better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. Them without us should not be made perfect. So through the elect is how the whole nation is going to be made perfect, man. And that's the reason why the elect are going to get their glorification in the kingdom of heaven. But our duty, our job on this side is to glorify Yahweh Shai, just as when he was down here, he was glorifying his Father, not himself, not exalting himself, not trying to get a bag, not teaching false doctrine, but knowing he had a duty, he had a job, he had something that he owed to the Heavenly Father, to do it in truth and sincerity and 100%, not half-ass, right? And through him, that's the only reason why the elect could get through the door. And through the elect is the only reason why the rest of the nation of Israel is going to get through the door. Going back to co-pilot, it says, Gideon among the faithful, Revelation 12:11, overcame by the blood, the testimony, and fearless love. Let's get that. Revelation 12:11. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. So by Yahweh Shai shedding his blood for himself and then the elect, his brethren, that's how we have overcame. Yahweh Shai brought the Zah be of that number, man. You know? And by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives until the death, man. You know? But then you had this asshole that told me that I spelled my name wrong and my name means this and it means that. All because they want to be a fucking demon, man. But they're going to do a VH1 when all hell break loose, entitled Where Are You? They're going to do a spiritual VH1 entitled Where Are They Now? Where are they at now? Out of there. Yeah, so I don't know. I might do Daniel 11, I don't know. Which Daniel 11 is basically just going into the time of the Persian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire. And then it goes into the Greek Empire. And then it goes into the Syrian Wars. And then it exclusively talks about Antiochus IV Epiphanes, or Antiochus Epiphanes IV. You know, so it just goes into a lot of history. It talks about Bernice, it talks about, I believe, Cleopatra II, which was an Edomite woman. So a lot of things about history you don't know that different nations have occupied that land in the Middle East, whether it be Israel or the surrounding areas, man. It's not the same original people. So they want you to believe that, you know, the people that live there today are the same ones that lived there 2,000 years ago, and that's not the case. You know, so with that, I hope at least one brother of the elect was edified, one sister, and I'm going to say shalom, man. Till next time. The water y'all by Shim Y'all Shah for another day.